guest alumni and resource person for today's Alumni Power Talk lectures, Dr. Chetan Nimbulkar sir and Ms. Suvarna Bhauthankar ma'am. I welcome our Honorable Principal Dr. S.J. Surana sir, Vice Principal Dr. Atul Shirkhedkar sir, Head Department of Pharmacology, Dr. Sia Patil sir, Head Pharmacy Practice Department, Dr. Mrs. S.D. Patil ma'am, Head of various departments, faculty members, and students who have joined us from across the globe. A very warm welcome to all of you present here for the very first event of Alumni Power Talk series organized by Pharmacology and Pharmacy Department of RCP Iper Shirpur. At the outset, I would like to brief about the goals of the Alumni Power Talk series. This series of talk is organized with objectives like to create platform for continuous interactions between the alumni of RCP IPER and students currently pursuing their PG degrees across the globe, to provide recent updates about job opportunities in pharmaceutical sciences, to enlighten the students about development of skill set, making them employable, to enlighten and provide glimpses about the interview techniques and corporate activities related to pharmacy career, and lastly, to invite input from alumni as stakeholders for the overall development of the institute. Now, I request the convener of the Alumni Power Talk series and Head Department Pharmacology, Dr. Sia Patil sir, to please give our participants some highlights of the department and the event.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Harshada madam. Respected Principal Dr. Surana sir, Dr. Shirkhedkar sir, Vice Principal of RC Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Shirpur, my teacher colleagues, our current students, other alumni of RC Piper who have joined from different places around the globe, students from other institutions who have shown interest in this kind of interactions with alumni of RC Piper, teachers of other institutions who have joined here and trying to take advantage of this particular interactions. Friends, we are really fortunate to work at an institute like RC Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, which is a premier organization of Indian subcontinent. Since last 6 years, we have been ranking amongst top 50 institutions of India. We started PG courses long back in 2003 and 4. Since then, more than 1,000 of our PG students and PhD scholars have graduated from this particular institution. And they're working at various places around the globe. And they have reached up to the levels of vice presidents of certain multinational companies. We are having such a knowledge base with us. We are having such an experienced knowledge base from pharma field, and that too from all fraternities related to drug discovery and development. Okay? We had an inkling in our mind that the kind of knowledge base we have created through this organization should be available to a vast audience. And with this intention, we thought of initiating Alumni Power Talk series. And this is the first episode of this Alumni Power Talk series. We are going to continue to have such episodes once every month. So one alumnus of RC Piper will be delivering his expertise, his experiences, the kind of knowledge he has garnered through his actual on-field experience in the pharmaceutical education, pharmaceutical drug discovery, pharmaceutical drug developments, clinical trials, safety pharmacology, toxicology, and all these aspects. Friends, what has happened these days is science is very rapidly changing. It is impossible to accommodate all the changes which are happening in the field in the syllabus of any course. Okay? Even if it is a degree course, PG course, PhD course, we cannot accommodate all the changes that are happening in the field. And we cannot have entire knowledge about the developments which are happening at the level of academic institution. That is the reason why it is important to interact with the people, with the stalwarts who are working in these areas, and try to understand from them, try to learn from them what knowledge is required for surviving in the today's field, contributing to the today's field, and what kind of employment skills are being expected by the industry or research organizations. There is no other way in which we can do this other than to conduct continuous interactions with alumni of institutions like RC Piper. So with this particular intention, we have started this Alumni Power Talk series, and this will continue now. Okay? Every month we are going to organize such kind of interaction with stalwarts who have passed from RC Piper, and they are contributing at the higher levels in pharma industries or research organizations or academic institutions. So we are going to have such continued interactions, and I'm sure not only the present students of RCP Iper, but students from all over India, and even those who are studying abroad, they will be benefited from this particular interaction. Okay. So with this forward, I request Harshada madam to please continue.
Thank you, respected sir, for such beautiful insights. Now, I request our Vice Principal, sir, Dr. Atul Shirkhedkar, to please highlight the achievements of RC Piper to our participants.
Good morning, one and all. Good morning, respected Principal, sir, Dr. Ajay Surana, sir. Then, am I audible to you? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Dr. C.R. Patil, Head Department of Pharmacology, Dr. Patil Madam, and the very most important, the guest of today's function, Dr. Chetan Nimgulkar and Ms. Swarna Bhautankar, the most valued alumni who are on that of the virtual platform. I welcome all of you for this series, and I compliments at the outset to the Alumni Power Talk series. You all are associated with that of the RC Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. And I know that whenever you are visiting the institute, you are finding development in that of the organization. Now, the institute which is started in the way back in 1992, now in 2022-23, there are a lot of changes into it. I can say that of the when it was in 1992, only 30 students were there, and a couple of faculties I can see. Now, when you talk about that is 22-23, the more than 75 faculties are there, and 100 plus students are there in that of the postgraduate courses. Plus, we are having the UG course, diploma course. So I know that these are all the numbers I am talking about. But beyond that, beyond the numbers, there are the important thing, that is the quality. And the quality can be the validated one. That should be from that of the external agency. Never we can say that the quality, it is necessary that all the faculties, the staff members, principal and the management are working for that of the quality education in that of the pharmaceutical education and research. Beyond that, that needs to be accredited, that need to be certified by that of the external agencies one. And that's how I can say that of the 3 cycles of National Board of Accreditations we have completed, and the first 2 cycles we got the accreditations for the 3 years, and it was there for the 3 years only. And the 3rd cycle we got the accreditations for the 6 years. That is a really the remarkable achievement of that of the RC Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Education. Beyond that, we applied for that of the 2nd cycle. 1st cycle we completed, and in the 2nd cycle we got A grade by that of the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, Bangalore. And it is you must say that a very reputed organization one who has accredited the institute. And now in 2022-23, I can say that this institute has been granted a status of autonomous by UGC. This is a logarithmic development of that of the institute one. I know that all the stakeholders of the institute, the management, the staff members, alumni, and the students are playing a very pivotal role in the development of this organization. You can see this slide, the development you can see, and every year we are trying to add something into it. I'm happy to share with all of you that 1,000 plus research publications are to the credit of that of the institute one, and that is all in the credit, you may say that of the very reputed journals one. Plus, we are having the, you may say, the 50 plus books which have been published by that of the faculty members, and along with that of the students. Nearly the 45 sponsored research project the institute has completed, and fetch a grant of more than 10 crores from that of the different funding agencies. Plus, we can say that we are organizing regularly seminar, conferences, then faculty development program. There is this type of the activities, dear friends, are helping us out for that of our development one. And now this the first time it is going on live, and we are going to have the alumni talk now, and they are going to contribute in the big way for that of the development of the department. I recall a very interesting phrase and the important thing related to it. I can say the data is very important, but right now everybody is talking about the data. And beyond that, people are talking about the knowledge. Data can be converted into the knowledge. And now we have the knowledgeable people, and that knowledge that the people are having now needs to be converted into wisdom for the students those who are taking the education with that of the R.C. Patel Institute of Pharmaceutical Engineers. I know this institute has already completed the 30 years. And in that 30 years, we have the thousands of alumni and plus the thousands of students who are taking the education. It's not the certificate of the things. It is beyond that, the association, which is very important for all of us. And for that of the Alumni Association, they have taken the wonderful initiative. And plus the Department of Pharmacology, Pharmacy Practice, they have taken the initiative for that of the having such type of the interactions with that of the alumni one. I recall all you people are on that of the certain very pure, you may say that of the key positions one, and to take a time, it is very difficult also. But you have taken the time for that of the sharing your expertise with that of the the junior people, your alumni, and also with the teachers also. I know that whenever I am speaking with that of the student, I say that even our all teachers say today is see the world through our eyes. Whatever we are perceiving from that of the others, we wanted to share with that of the student. Today you see the world through our eyes. Tomorrow you show the world through your eyes, and in this way both of us will grow together. That alumni will also grow, and the teachers will also grow, and you are the junior students who are over here in this organization, they will also grow. I compliment both the alumni. They have taken the time, Dr. Chetan and Bhautankar madam. I recall both of you from that of the batches of 2006 and you must say that of the 2010-12. These the batches are very important for us, and the association with this alumni is you may say that of the valuable people for us. So whenever you get the time to visit our institute, you come, there is a standing invitation for you, even though it is a live talk, and beyond that, this is the standing invitation, and you come and visit the institute, and you can believe, seeing is believing. That is how development have taken place in the institute. So with this brief, I wish all the best to that of the all speakers, pharmacology department, and the students one, and this will be the wonderful talk. I compliments to Dr. C.R. Patil, Dr. Patil madam, and all the pharmacology people, those who are taking the lot of efforts for making this event. You may say that of the very interesting for that of from the learning point of view. Thank you. I will be continuing with that of your the lectures also, that I wanted to see, and I wanted to enjoy that also, sitting in that of the you may say that of the student chair. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, respected sir, so much for the highlight of our institute, RCP Iper, and thank you for encouraging us. Dear participants, today is an auspicious day as we have the fortune to inaugurate our pharmacology and pharmacy practice department website in presence of all the dignitaries, alumni, and obviously our lovely participants. I request respected Vice Principal Sir Dr. Atul Shirkhedkar Sir to please officiate the inauguration of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice Department's website. Yes, sir.
Congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, the website of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice Department is available as, yes, here's the inauguration of our website. You can see on your screens that the website is now available as www.rcppharmacology.wordpress.com. This website highlights the department details like various research and training facilities available at the department. achievements of the faculty members, research publications, grant raised from different government funding agencies, national and international exposure, alumni and placement details, etc. You can even see our institute pictures on it. I am delighted to share that our institute, RCP Iper, has its alumni association, which keeps record of all the alumni, including their contact details, current employment, achievements, and whatnot. The details of pharmacology and pharmacy practice department are now available on our website. You can see over the screen that it is giving a detailed employment or placement details on the map. Since the inception of the Department of Pharmacology in the year 2004, more than 200 students have completed their postgraduate degree and PhD in pharmacology. Similarly, from the last 16 years, more than 110 students have completed their postgraduate degree in pharmacy practice, formerly known as clinical pharmacy department. I feel proud to say that over the years, we have scaled further heights of success and glory, earning a creditable name in the field of pharmaceutical education and research. Institutional past record shows that academic and research achievements of the events, institute, and students have been steadily rising and has remained at par with excellence. Our institute has a broad vision of making our students good citizens at the level of entire society. Our concern is whether we as teachers can create the qualities in our students of learning, dedication, respect, ethics, and humanity. Alumni of our pharmacology and pharmacy practice department have been delivering their service around the globe. You can see the alumni present on the website, and they are giving our services around the globe in countries like USA, UK, Germany, Australia, Poland, and Canada. Our alumni are working in diverse areas of preclinical and clinical research at positions like medical writing, safety pharmacology and toxicology, regulatory affairs, and reach up to being vice presidents of multinational companies. Additionally, our alumni are also excelling in the field of academics and have succeeded as an entrepreneur with the annual turnover of enterprise exceeding over 15 crores. Now you can see here the graphs. The 10% of alumni have annual CTC of 25 lakh onwards. 29% of alumni achieved highest qualification like PhD. We are proud to share that the 50% of current faculty members working at pharmacology and pharmacy practice department of RCP Iper are alumni of the department itself. I appreciate the idea of Alumni Power Talk series, which can create a special bonding between the passed out students and who have already established themselves in the big outside world. I believe that Power Alumni Talk series is a perfect platform for all of us to meet our peers, teachers, and to revive the contacts. Now, we are proceeding with the first Power Alumni Talk of this series with Dr. Chetan Nimgurkar sir. I request Dr. Kalpesh Patil sir to please introduce his M.Pharm batchmate of batch 2008-10, Dr. Chetan Nimgurkar sir. Please, sir, you can proceed.
Thank you, Arashada ma'am. Good morning, all the dignitaries and participants. Myself, Dr. Kalpesh Patil, feels privileged to introduce my postgraduate batchmate, Dr. Chetan Nimgurkar, and invite him as a speaker for Alumni Power Talk series organized by our Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice. We spent 2 important and memorable years of our PG degree at Department of Pharmacology, RCP Iper. During the year 2006 to 2008, Dr. Chetan has completed his bachelor's degree in pharmacy from Savitribai Phule Pune University and Doctor of Philosophy from Osmania University. Currently, he is associated with the Novartis since last 5 years. Earlier, Dr. Chetan offered his service to the GVK Biosciences Private Limited, Hyderabad, at the positions like scientific manager and postdoctoral fellow consultant for about the tenure of 4 years. Dr. Chetan also worked as a senior and junior research fellow at National Institute of Nutrition, NIN, ICMR, Hyderabad. Dr. Chetan has a 15 years of clinical and preclinical experience in the drug development process of various pharmaceutical companies as well as the academic institutions. His professional expertise include providing clinical and scientific insight to clinical trial program, collection, review, reporting, and publishing high-quality clinical trial data in compliance with GCP, ICH, and regulatory requirements. Planning, execution, reporting, and publication of a global clinical study reports and designing of case report forms, protocols, and other regulatory requirements like investigators brochure and other drug safety reports. He is also experienced in the cell culture and molecular biology techniques, and also in the in vivo experimental study design and its scientific execution, particularly in the areas of cardiovascular disease, oncology, NASH, asthma, and inflammatory diseases. Dr. Chetan also possesses good publication record in peer-reviewed journals. From the years of association with Dr. Chetan, I perceived that he is a passionate learner, dedicated professional, and good human being. With this brief, on behalf of our department, I invite Dr. Chetan Nimgudkar to please proceed with his lecture on the topic of clinical research and enlighten us about the opportunities in this field. Please, Dr. Chetan, you can proceed with this talk.
Sure. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you very much for my brief introduction. Actually, very elaborative introduction. Basically, first of all, I want to thank C.R. Patil sir, Dr. Surana sir, S.D. Patil madam for introducing this kind of lectures. It's a basically discussion or sharing little bit of whatever experience we are having or we have experienced up till now after completing MPharm basically. So it's a very good, I would say, platform for all the students. And I definitely echo with C.R. Patil sir's statement that technology is changing so rapidly that to match that particular pace, being an individual, it's highly impossible. So to match that of whatever resources we do have it. So taking in this consideration, the first means this is not a presentation or a talk kind of thing. It would be, I would like to have a discussions if possible. Definitely. So today topic is the career opportunities. Whatever I feel, this is my perspective. I'm just presenting this information. So can we move on the next slide, please? Next slide, please. So research, what does it mean? So we'll start from the scratch just to brush up everything. Can we move on, please? Yes, so basically clinical research or clinical trial is related to drug, biologics, medical devices, or anything it is related or is being used clinically to investigate the safety or efficacy. This is basically known as a clinical research or a clinical trial, and clinical trial is performed to conduct the clinical research. So drug molecules, we know all the drug molecules, whatever they are acting on drug receptor binding or multiple receptors or many signaling pathways. So these are definitely involved. These are the drugs we can call investigational products in clinical trial. Then biologics, siRNA, shRNA, RNA-based therapy basically, or cellular therapy, CAR T cell, or any kind of cellular therapy is come under the biologics, antibodies also, and medical devices. We have so many medical devices, implantations, which help to reduce particular enzymes or any particular hormones. So these medical devices is also been invested. These whatever is being used for the as a treatment aid, it needs to undergo the clinical trials. So this is just an overview. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Yes, same thing. So clinical trial is a systematic study of human beings. Okay, it's not the study of one particular device, drug, or biomarker. It's a study of a human beings, how that particular acts on it. We know PKPD is there, but basically we are studying the human beings, and what we do is the safety, that is a risk, and efficacy is the benefits. So always it's a primary thing to judge before initiating any trial, the risk to benefit ratio. That is the ICH guideline first principle. We should be able to measure the risk to benefit ratio. So once we are through with it, then we can just go ahead for any trial. Can we move on? Yes. So to conduct any particular trial, we need to have so many stakeholders. First is the sponsor, any company. Second, CROs who implement that particular trial or who conduct that particular, like a CROs. They have multiple roles involved in it, like CRAs, research coordinator, regulatory affair manager, medical writer, data manager. Then we need a hospital, that is, we call it as a site. At site, we need to have a very important one, that is a PI, principal investigator. Another stakeholder, very important stakeholder, that is health authorities like FDA, DCGI, EMA, and all that. And we need a laboratories, basically. So these are the stakeholders. So why I'm showing this stakeholder, because these stakeholder has the roles, basically. And all MPharm people, those who are passing out MPharm, and PhD, I'm counting both. So there are a lot of opportunities in all the stakeholder area. Don't limit yourself. Even I would go beyond one statement, that not only pharmacology people or those who are MPharm in pharmacology only can perform or enter in the clinical trial. No, it's not like that. Anyone can enter in clinical research if he has a passionate to learn about the things and just enter it. It's not a very hard nutshell to crack it. It is not easy, but it is not difficult also. It needs certain amount of passion. So that's why I'm just sharing the stakeholder, whatever the stakeholders, everyone is eligible to enter this particular area. Can we move ahead? Yes. So and their roles. So basically, how these roles are performing, basically. So sponsorer who sponsor any clinical trial, any clinical research. CROs who perform or implement the clinical trial. Investigator, yes. Investigational product that we know, our investigational product or investigational substance, I would say biologics in that case, any antibodies, siRNA, shRNA, whatever therapy, cellular therapy, we do have it. Subject, yes, either subject or a patient. So again, if you go deep down, the difference between subject and patient, we will come to know. So they voluntarily involve in clinical trials, of course, with the signing the ICF. Then we need a principal investigator who conduct the clinical trial, who has the close interaction with the clinical trials. So here is a small example. If we are performing any particular animal study, let's say example, any diabetic study or hyperlipidemic study or asthmatic study or hypertensive study, we are the principal investigator who has the interaction with the animals administering the drug and all that stuff to observe that particular patient or the animal in this case. Then we have a GTM, like a global trial manager who manages the city. He has the biggest role, and there are a lot of opportunities in global trial management system. There are so many levels in GTMs and GTDs, like there are so many hierarchies also available, and it is a very good scope to enter any clinical trial through this GTM area, basically. Then we know US FDA or FDA, EMA or DCGI. So these regulatory authorities, these are also expert member, I would say. So if you gain certain expertise, we can definitely enter into health authorities, basically. And also we can become an ICE member also. So if we are if a person or an individual is having a sound knowledge of ethics of or regulations of any country, it is very easy to enter as an ICE member. We know sites is also involved, laboratories. There are so many central laboratories are available who conduct the laboratory test like blood, urine, hematology and all that stuff. So all sort of analysis they can be done. Apart from that, there are many CROs or laboratories. They are involved in EPROs, patient reported outcome. So basically, if there is any questionnaire, is there, let's say example, depression, any depression study is ongoing on patients. So all companies are not expertise in it. They outsource this particular depression study or cognitive study or for activity study, functional activity scores. So these companies are very expertise in their area. So if you are involved in CNS study, if you are involved in behavioral study or basically cognitive related studies, these are another horizon. There a lot of scope is there if you are very expertise in this particular to read that particular data. Regulatory affairs, yes, definitely this is required for every means maximum. I think every company needs this particular kind of expertise, regulatory affairs, data management. This is another good entry level, I would say. Very good step to enter in a clinical trial, to understand the data first, how the data flows, how data get entered, how patient visits the site, and all sort of, there are a lot in-depth analysis of the data as a data manager and medical writer. Next slide, please. So what do you think after MPharm, after completing your MPharm, what do you think, what sort of opportunities is available after getting your, after passing your MPharm? Can we have an interaction, Kalpesh sir?
Yeah, we can have it, but at the end of your talk, like something like that. Yeah.
No worries, no worries, no worries. Thank you, sir. Then we should we should go ahead. Can we move on, please? We'll come later on this question. Yes, so these are the just a segregation kind of thing. I can say entry level, mid level, or senior level. So CRC, CRAs, businessable. So you can just go through with this drug safety associates, co-investigator, regulatory affairs. So it depends upon the level of knowledge, the degree which you have it. So I think I definitely appreciate RC Patel College, the facility they are providing. It's really remarkable. It's really appreciable. Because I haven't seen any of the college or even institute, some institutes, they doesn't have the instrumentation or the facility which RC Patel has. And they are allowing student to perform their uh, whatever the experimentation they needed. So I really appreciate in this regard. So let's take an example of let's take any example here. Clinical research first, clinical the entry level clinical research coordinator. This is related to clinical, but don't limit yourself to clinical. You can take as a clinical, preclinical also. So what is preclinical? So I think we have a very good facility of RC Patel College in pharmacology department, specifically animal house and the instrumentation. So whenever we perform any type of experiment, I will come on later on how it helps the experimentation part, which facilitate, which help us your experience. So basically, these are the middle level or senior level type of job is distributed amongst them in the clinical research. Can we move on? I will be discussing preclinical as well as clinical because I am having both the experience. So consider this both the things. So what industry is basically looking as a clinical scientist or a clinical researcher or a CRA or anything? Those who want to work in clinical. First is the qualification. You must be qualified, as well as you should be knowledgeable. It's not like you have a qualification but you doesn't have that particular level of knowledge. So that's why now all the companies, they are not taking a single interview, they are taking multiple interviews. They are sending you to perform one particular task. Okay, let's take an example, medical writer. They will send you to provide some data. Okay, write whatever you want or what you understood with these basics, whatever information we have provided. Scientific writing, they are providing a paper. They ask you, okay, you have 1 hour or 1.5 hours, you write the abstract. So we have to go through all the paper and then we can just write the abstract. Or many times, because it you don't believe, there was one interview I have performed. I have tracked 7 levels of um, interviews, and it was not easy. Basically, it took me 5 days basically to crack that particular. Every day 2 to 3 tasks they have provided me to perform, and then I can enter into that particular position. So as you are going up, or even for entry level also, you need to have a qualification, that is your entry pass. And second, you have to appear for that exams. You have to fulfill that exams. If you uh, give a wrong answer, it is, even though you have a PhD, you can't enter uh, or you can't qualify that particular role. And second thing is the very important, right? Committed people. They need committed people. Professional with relevant education and experience. This is the most important thing which I have discussed right now with you. Then hands-on experience. I will come on this topic in my next upcoming slide. Yes, the very important thing is the good communication skill. Even though you are having a good amount of knowledge, but if you can't sustain or you can't deliver or you can't present your skill, it is not that much useful. So you should be having a good communication skill. Can we next slide, please? Yes. So this is the list. Just I have provided. You can enter in this anytime. These are the possible positions. Can we move on? Rather than because the positions you can search online and it is available very widely. What I want to convey or what I want to share with you is the how to reach that particular position, or and what does it needed basically. In general, I am talking about. Okay, but if you want to enter in preclinical, clinical, everything is needed. Can we move on? Next slide, please. So we know educational requirement. These are the basic requirement. This is the entry pass to enter into that particular area or premises, I would say. MPharm, MBBS, MD, BDS, and all that stuff. So PV, we need all these. So MPharm, we can, as a MPharm pharmacology, we can enter clinical research, or PV, pharmacovigilance. So there is no limitation. Even a chemistry also can enter in clinical research. There is no limitation. Please do not limit that I am a SUTIS guy or I am pharmacognosy, I did my pharmacognosy. No. I have seen many different type of MPharm, even pharma practice or industrial pharmacy, those who have performed, even pharmacognosy, they perform their PhD in pharmacognosy, even they entered in clinical research. So please do not limit yourself. You can enter anytime. Can we move on, please? Yes, another thing I want to just highlight that you can give these exams, national level exams, ICMR, NetSet, or CSIR, UGC. So entering this exam, qualifying this exam, RF3 SSR, this is the standard format government given with a good amount of stipend, okay, fellowship. But I would say if you can't crack this exam, please do not demotivate. You can write a good project proposal and submit to CSIR, DST, or ICMR or DBT to get the grant, because they are happy, these government bodies are very happy to provide a fellowship to one particular fellow, those who are interested or their research proposal is very informative or new investigational things is adding into science. Can we move on, please? Am I running late? No. So, pardon?
So you can continue, you're not getting late.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Now, I want to just make you aware about some points, those who are specifically social media is hyping up. That is the job at risk. So what type of job at risk, and as a MPharm or as a PhD, are we at that particular risk bracket? Let's see. So if you see, this is the PwC website. They have done some studies and they displayed that nearly 30% of the job will be potential risk, will be at potential risk by 2030. So is it a, yeah, this is a true, this is not a blue moon or something like that. We have to be really take this as a alarming situation, because this has not happened first. This has happened earlier also. That is known as a sector shifts. If we see before the industrial development or revolution, job of agricultural were very high. when the industrial revolution happened, the job in the industrial revolution increased. Let's take an example, anything like whenever there is industrial, the manufacturing in industries job increases. So before, when we see the shift, this is just a general shift. I have observed that earlier there were a lot of job in agriculture sector. Then the shift happened. That is known as when the shift, the job related agricultural was reduced, and then manufacturing in after industrial revolution, the manufacturing job started increasing. So this is a universal rule. This is going to happen future also, and change is always a constant thing, I would say. Then the manufacturing also get reduced and shifted to IT. I'm talking not about AIML, but for the IT related. From IT, IT renewable energy, because a lot of energy crisis is going to happen in future. And it's not, I'm predicting like 10 years, 15 years later, it's 5 to 10 years, I would say. This is a really growing area, okay? And infrastructure also. So let me give you one example, like molecular docking reduces toxicologicals. This is relevant to our study. Earlier, if you see in the pharmaceutical investigation, there were thousands of compounds. Now, with the molecular docking or very advanced IT tool, we can find out, okay, these molecules are fitting properly in one particular protein, second protein, and these can perform, or these are safe, these are not safe, okay, whatever. So we reduce that 1,000 compounds, we can reduce, we have reduced it up to 500 or 100, 90, 900, we can just scratch it. Earlier, it was not the case. So this is a shift, basically. Okay, this is how we are shifting. So likewise, we are there are many models, computer based, I'm telling you. There are many models available who predict the efficacy, who predict the safety. So this is everything based on the algorithms and whatever the data published up till now. So do you think really that our job is at risk? Then I would say up to a certain extent, yes, definitely. So what type of job is at risk? First is the rule based, that is a repetitive job. For example, if a person is performing toxicological study continuously, therefore OECD, following the OECD guideline, one particular OECD guideline, they are administering one dose, they are this is just a regular thing. So if you are doing a regular thing, it is replaced. So how we can overcome this replacement or this repetitive type of job? Okay, we'll just see the next slide. Can we move to next slides? Okay, this is another, I would say, a tool, beneficial tool, but a risk also, which is generated by chatbot. That is, let's take an example like ChatGPT. This is artificial intelligence. Okay. We were discussing related to molecular docking. It is also IT based, okay, computer based algorithm. So this is another chatbot. Okay, you just it is actually text generating tool, but it is very smart, because Turing test cannot differentiate between the difference between whether the output is generated by human or it is generated by robot. And if you see, the chatbot got it is very popular within only 5 days. He achieved 1 million user, not subscriber, okay, user I'm talking about. So it is one of the threat I'm just emphasizing here. It is a very good tool to perform any particular basic task. So that's what I have told earlier, there are many things who is doing repeatedly. Those repeated things will be replaced by robots or AI or any machines. They will perform A to B, whatever the task they need to perform. So do you think surgery, like this is very critical? Now we have a surgery arm also. Doctors, they perform the surgery with the surgery arm. So do you think, and with the precision, it's not like with the error or something like that, with a good precision. So do you think doctor can be replaced? Definitely not. A clinician is a clinician. He has a feeling. Even there are many reports that chatbot or a chat GPT has a human feelings. Sometimes it get angry or something like that, because that's how they are providing the information. So that's okay, that's another part. But the learning, these kind of AI or machine learning or artificial intelligence, learning those things is very, very important. Why it is important? Because it will perform your repeated task. So if you are performing A to B activity on regular basis, you can hand over this task to your AI or machine learning. You can perform, or you can invest your time for the new thinking, critical thinking, or the next level thinking, I would say. Can we go ahead next? Yeah, another thing that regarding the molecular docking, today morning I tried to have what is the output in ChatGPT volume. So I just put just a simple thing that molecular docking of a gallic acid with the CD36 receptor, because I'm having that particular result. So he gave me all the details, like how to do that molecular docking studies, from where I can get the crystal structure, from where I can get the CD36, what is the protein and all that stuff. He has given me all the information. So prepare the protein structure, preparation of ligand structure, and whatever molecular docking. But visualization analysis, he gave me all the detailed step because it is present in it. But when I asked, give me the molecular docking result of the gallic acid with CD36 receptor, he said, as a language model, I do not have access to specific docking software of a CD36 receptor. So, however, he has given general definition or general information. It is not specific. This is what I want to emphasize. This is how we need to understand the deep understanding of a topic or any disease or a subject or any signaling pathways. This is what I want to emphasize. This is how we can, I would say, defeat the chat GPT or any AI or machine learnings. Okay. We need to have a creative thinkings. Can we move on to next slide? Then I will come back to this slide again. How the creative thinkings we need it. Okay, this is another example I want to give you that. This is the one of the model that pulmonary arterial hypertension. Okay, so pulmonary arterial in the RAC model I'm talking about now. So pulmonary to measure this. And I think Sir Patel, sir, can you please confirm, are we still performing this cannulation carotid artery?
Yeah, cannulations, students have become more interested now, and compared to your batches, they are more conversant and they are happily doing those things.
Good to know, good to know.
Our teaching skills also have increased this.
Thank you, sir, thank you. So as everyone is interested in cannulation, so I brought the same thing to you to connect. So basically, this is a pulmonary arterial hypertension. To measure this particular hypertension, we need to, our cannula should reach up to the, what can I say, into ventricle and through ventricle to the next artery. So if you see here in the left hand side figure, the third figure which I have highlighted, if you see the systolic blood pressure is nearly 25 mmHg. However, the diastolic pressure is not getting down. It is still nearly 15 mmHg. This is called down sloping of the during the this particular diastole. So to establish this particular model, it was not easy, basically, that much easy. We felt, we tried a lot. We did so many animals. We tried on so many animals, but we couldn't do it, basically, because our cannula won't reach up to that particular artery. So what we thought, okay, let's do gold standard. We will insert our needle from in the ventricle. Can you please click one? Yes. So we need a artificial ventilator to perform this particular model. So we cannulate and the respirator started. We could survive because we are reaching up to right ventricle through the diaphragm. We could not reach, or the measurement was not proper when we reach from the ribs. So that's why we thought, okay, we'll go from the diaphragm. So we cut the abdomen very little bit cut. After respirator, we insert our needle, butterfly needle 20 gauze. We insert into the right ventricle from this angle. So so the reading was, as I have highlighted in the left hand side figure, the diastolic was not down. It was very high. The diastolic was nearly 15 mmHg, 5 to 15 mmHg. It was not coming down. The RVSP, right ventricular systolic pressure, we need like RV. It is the just adjacent. It is showing the diastole should come up to 0 or 1, and right ventricular pressure should go up to 25 mmHg. So what we thought, what was the error we were making? So can you please click on it? So with the investigation, we found out, yes, we need to go from the top side, not the bottom side. Why? Because whenever there is an relaxation of a ventricle, the contraction of atria is also there. And that's why the diastole won't come down. So this is a critical observation. Even very big people also, they may think or they may not think, but this kind of a critical observation or understanding, we should have it, and then only we can just perform this particular assessments. Can we move on, please? This is how we need a critical observation, and this is known as a human creativity. Not a single AI or a machine can tell you or suggest you, okay, you are making an error in it. You need to have a creative thinking in it. Critical thinking, this is very important. If you are reading some paper, okay, if you read any paper, you think about the opposite way also. If you are following one particular signaling pathway, let's take CD36, increasing the lipid deposition within the macrophage forms and macrophage form cell formation. But what is its advantage? That also we have to consider. Okay, this is a critical thinking. Then very important, decision making. This not a single AI can perform for you. Okay, and robot cannot replace decision making. Let's take example. If I want to go from A position to B position, I'm asking, okay, what can I see that B positions, or what are the how can I reach there? He can suggest you, but he cannot take a decision. Yes, you can go through this. You have to make your own decision. An important thing, that upskill and reskill. If you are going with a conventional way, like earlier conventional farming is shifted to greenhouse and all that modernized farming, things. So we have to upscale with, like, MS Office is the must thing, Okay, it's not okay, I know Excel and I know PPT. No, we have to go what advances is being updated in it, because technology is changing every day. We need to learn. I think this is the second time I'm telling Python or R shell or Power BI, Power Query, Tableau SAS. So whatever it is possible, you learn it, because it is needed in all the clinical trials. MS Office is the must thing. And if you are imbibed with this Power BI or R shell or Python, anything, it will be easy for you to stand out from the crowd. Okay, you need to learn the new technologies. As I have new technologies, I can tell you later on, because that is another huge topic. Deep understanding of standard rules, what it's require, you should be able to provide that thing. And another thing, as I have told you that earlier, previous slide also, PMP certification, you can do it. That is a project management. Basically, you also can enter like global trial manager or global trial management basically, with this particular certification. So this is it, what we need basically. Just an overview I have given. I think I try to touch whatever I know. So thank you and welcome for all the questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your experience and insightful talk. Your talk has definitely motivated and enlightened our current students about selection in their career path. And you have given an overview of all the experience that you have. Now, the session is open for discussion, as sir said. If any participants want to discuss any query, please proceed, as we can take a couple of rapid questions.
Okay, there is one question from me to Chetan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, when you are saying a student should know Python or AI and ML, for say a pharmacology or pharmacy practice student or a degree student, to what level they should go? Means what kind of training they can
Correct.
take about this particular area?
Exactly. Thank you. This is a very wonderful question. Basically, up to what level? Because it is another horizon basically, and it starts. But you should be able to code whatever you need basically. So let's take example. Being an M-Pharm, we need animal models. Or suppose I am investigating a drug. It's a rat, carrageenan-induced rat paw model. Let's take example. Okay, so my AI tool or my AI information should able to provide me earlier what happened, what sort of dose I should finalize, what sort of, so everything they can combine everything and give it to you. Because if we are reading thousands of paper, it is not giving us very insights. Okay, so AI tool will help you to combine all this data and give some trends. Based on that trends, we can just go ahead. It is a dotted line, but it can give a direction. So at least we should code primary, I would say, basic primary codings at least should be done.
Okay, thank you. Now students are encouraged to ask questions. Students can unmute and they can ask questions directly.
Yes, participants, you are free to ask the questions.
Harshada ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we have the couple of questions from the YouTube audience also. Chiranjeev Balero asking that is there any need to do a pharmacovigilance or clinical research course to get jobs in these departments? Chiranjeev Balero is asking.
Okay. Thank you, Chiranjeev. So this is another important, I would say. If you are doing M-Pharm in pharmacy, means pharmacology basically, or a clinical pharmacology, as far as I know. So I don't think so they need to do any particular additional course. But if you are from others subjects like Sutix or Cognosy, so you need to perform, you can perform that particular additional course to enter clinical trials or PV. But another thing, you have a gate pass of your with your certificate MPharm, so it will be easy for you to enter.
Mohammed sir, are there more questions? Should we proceed?
Over to you, madam. Over to you.
So thank you for the session, for the discussion, sir. I request now our HOD, that is Head of Department of Pharmacy Practice, Dr. Mrs. S.D. Patil ma'am, to please extend vote of thanks and offer a virtual certificate to our alumnus, Dr. Chetan Imgudkar sir, as a token of appreciation. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Chetan. It is always a luxury to listen to you. And definitely we get more and more information from you. A single lecture is not enough to get the things from you. Definitely we will arrange few more lectures to gain the knowledge from you. On behalf of Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice, RCP Iper, I want you to thank for insightful presentation on the career opportunities in the clinical research. Thank you for highlighting multiple opportunities in this field and tips on the avoiding the repetitive jobs, as well as the proper guidance on the updation, as well as on the critical thinking. I know that our participants, they have got the knowledge, and definitely they will feel that your remarks are especially timely. I hope that what you said has a significant impact on the participants. We truly appreciate the alumnus like you who are willing to give their timely knowledge and the talent to enrich the lives of young people. You have made us proud by achieving glorious heights in your life. Our blessings are always with you. The take-home message for these people is update yourself. Updation is always needed in this field. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, madam.
Yeah. So what I need to do? Yeah.
Here is your
Okay.
certificate.
Okay.
Of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. So now we'll move on to the next, that is our next alumnus speaker, who is none other than Miss Suvarna Bhautankar, ma'am. Currently, she is a senior safety scientist at Icon PLC, Berlin, Germany. Earlier, Ms. Suvarna worked at Apotex Research, Mumbai, as a senior associate and product safety risk management scientist. She also worked as safety aggregate reporting specialist at IQVIA, Mumbai, and also journal data analyst at Cognizant, Mumbai. Ms. Suvarna has an experience of 8 years in the fields of pharmacovigilance. She was involved in drug safety operations for clinical trials and post-marketing cases for drugs and medical devices from past 4 years. She has a blend of experience in diverse fields, including review of aggregate reports, signal management activities, validation of literature, search trends, creation and maintenance of CCDS and SMPCS, handling of different regulatory queries with regards of labeling and preparation of safety evaluation reports. With this brief introduction, I request our alumnus speaker, Ms. Suvarna Bhautankar, to please proceed with the lecture. Ma'am, please.
Hello, thank you so much for your introduction. So I would just share my screen. So I would like to thank Dr. C.R. Patil sir, S.D. Patil ma'am, and Surana sir for providing me this opportunity to speak at this platform. I remember like few years back when I was a student, I was also listening to these alumni, listening to my seniors for getting industry insights and like being informative about my future decisions, and that has definitely helped me. And today I'm happy that I got this opportunity, and then I will try to provide as much as information that I can and to be helpful for you all guys. Thank you so much. So for today's session, I will be talking about career opportunities in pharmacovigilance. And these are the items that I will be taking you through. So firstly, about basic introduction of pharmacovigilance and a high level overview of the pharmacovigilance process. What is the educational qualification and skill sets that are required to be successful in this field? Then what are the career opportunities? And then once you enter pharmacovigilance, what is the career progression thereafter? What are the opportunities in the pharmacovigilance field? Then some interview tips, and then we'll open this forum for question and answers. Okay, so what is pharmacovigilance? As all of you already may be knowing, but I will just here have a brochure. So pharmacovigilance is a science and activities relating to detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse events of any other medicine related problems. So what is detection? So when you are having any adverse reaction to a medicine and you are suspecting that a medicine caused it and you're reporting it. So sometimes maybe a long-term patient hypertension patient is taking a long-term antihypertensive and then having, say, gingival hyperplasia or having insomnia, and such kind of events sometimes due to unawareness are not reported and they don't think so that is because of a drug. But nowadays the awareness is getting created amongst the patients, physicians, healthcare professionals. So the more actively the side effects and adverse effects of the drugs are being reported, the more information we have available for the safe use of medicines. So this is something called detection, then assessment. So once these adverse events are reported, then you are assessing this information that is it really because of the drug that has caused the event, or is there something underlying condition or some other medications the patient is taking, or some any other factors that would have led to this adverse event. So the critical assessment of this data, understanding the public health impact of this kind of things. So maybe you receive one report and then you're receiving cluster of reports of this kind of events, and then you're understanding the impact of public health and trying to prevent it by providing more proactive information to the healthcare professionals so that they're more careful about prescribing this medication. Or there are many other types through which you can prevent an adverse event. So this is an end-to-end activities that are involved in pharmacovigilance. Earlier it was only limited to medicines, but now it has been expanded to herbal, traditional and complementary medicines, blood products, biologicals, medical devices, vaccines. So medical devices, I will take an example. Let's say you're wearing a smart watch that is monitoring your pulse rate. That is not, I mean, it does not pose you a safety concern as such. But if you are having a pacemaker inserted or having a drug-eluting stent inserted in your heart, or heart valve is getting replaced. So such kind of interventional medical devices, safety of such kind of devices is important. So this has also been included in the scope of pharmacovigilance. And then for vaccines, as you may have recently seen for COVID-19, we did not get enough time to have a complete, drug discovery cycle for this, and then it was essential for patients to receive the vaccine within the short span. And in that, there were detection of several thrombotic events during administering these vaccines. So you see how pharmacovigilance plays a role in safe use of vaccines as well. So what is the history of pharmacovigilance, how it started? So it started well before, 169 years ago, when chloroform was used as an anesthetic for a young girl who was undergoing a removal of an infected toenail, and she died due to lethal arrhythmia. So earlier it was considered to be a very safe and powerful anesthetic, but then, in the clinical practice, they were completely unaware of such a kind of side effect that it may pose, and which led to, as it led to the formation of pharmacovigilance. So these are the different milestones. So in 1848, with Hannah's death, this led to some sort of discussion that there should be systems in place where safe use of medicines can be done. And with more and more incidents, and we achieved more and more milestones. And you can see in 2012, there were new European pharmacovigilance legislation that was formed. And over the years now, we have become more structured, robust, and becoming even more accurate in determining these risks and mitigating these risks, so that we can have safe medicines use. So why there is a need of pharmacovigilance? Because there is insufficient evidence of safety from clinical trials. So you cannot, in the clinical trial environment, there are limitations. You cannot enroll pregnant women, you cannot enroll elderly patients until and unless its indication is for geriatric patients. But so there are limitations for on the ethical grounds. Then there are, like, patients pose with multiple comorbidities, and they are taking various type of medications, and they are have different type of lifestyles. They live in different geographic areas, and having an exposure to all such patients during the clinical trial phase is not possible. But when the drug is marketed and it reaches such a variety of patients, then rare side effects come into the picture, and we become more and more aware once the drug is in the market than it is now in the clinical trial. So pharmacovigilance is very important in the later stage as well. So, dying from disease is sometimes unavoidable, but dying from medicine is unacceptable. And we can definitely do something in our part to prevent from these side effects from happening. And so, as a regulatory obligation to keep our products in the market, we have to constantly analyze the safety profile of the drug and to assess its benefit risk ratio. Is the benefit outweighs the risks posed by the drug? And if it is so, then only we can say that the drug can stay in the market. So there is an annual review for each product, or for newer products it's even earlier than that. And for well-established products, it can vary from authorities to authorities, but we have to do an annual review of the product and do the analysis of the global experience of the drug, of what all side effects that were reported, what were expected side effects, what were unexpected, what was serious, which led to fatal events, and so on. We are analyzing each and every thing about the drug, and then assessing the benefit risk profile of this drug. Now, so again, so to promote rational use of medicine and adherence to it can enable lapses in best practices. It can, so sometimes we observe lack of effect. There is counterfeiting, there is drug resistance, there's interaction, there are quality problems, dependence and abuse, poisoning, medication errors. for example, some of the name of the drug, which is like written and in a style that is very similar to some other drug which is used for some different indication, and because some pharmacist is like mistakenly gives that other medication to the patient whom the other mistake the medicine was not required, and it is not it's causing untoward effects on that patient. So if you have such kind of many reports and they do the root cause analysis for such errors, and then you realize that the style in which the name is written is confusing, and then you do some intervention to prevent this medication error from happening. So there are a lot of things that we can detect via pharmacovigilance. Then its role in drug development. So pharmacovigilance role starts right from clinical trials. So right from the drug is in the developmental stage, we need to provide the regulators of the data of the safety, annual reports to the regulators, and then later on in the stages of post-marketing phases. So the same thing I have mentioned earlier. Then overview of pharmacovigilance process. So what is a day in and out of a pharmacovigilance professional? What all activities they do? And so this is something called case input. We can get data, the case which are getting reported to us via maybe call center, or the cases are reported by some other means. There are websites on the company portal where you get the events reported, or there are many other tools with which the data can be retrieved. Then clinical trials, if we are collating data from clinical trials, then serious adverse events reported in the clinical trials, spontaneous reports, then literature cases published in on the public platform. So from these all sources, you get your data, and then so case intake is done, and then what you do at the first is triage. You will do the prioritization of these cases. If it is a serious case, if it is a fatal case, if it is a case that is suspected, that means it is related to drug or it's unrelated to drug. Because why this prioritization is important is because there are strict and stringent timelines set by the regulators for submission. So you cannot miss that. And so based on that, you need to be aware of the timelines at the first, and then do the prioritization of your work, do the data entry based on the source you have received. You will be entering it in the various softwares such as Argus, HarrisG, etc. And then you would see what is the missing information in order to analyze the complete case, whether our drug is responsible for this adverse event. You need to have a complete detail of a patient. So what is missing? To identify that, and they send out queries for getting a further information follow-up, and then after that you're closing the case. So this is like for individual case level what you will do. Then there will be medical review of this case, and based on that you receive such many individual case reports, I wouldn't say millions. And then after that you do aggregate output, that is when you're preparing the annual reports, so you are getting the aggregate data of these cases, and then you're analyzing the data, and then you prepare a report based on the guidelines, and there are other further steps, that's business benefit risk assessment and mitigation. So this is a day in and out of a pharmacovigilance professional, what they do. Then what are the educational qualifications and skills that are required? So as Dr. Chaitanya Gurkar has already mentioned, that any life science graduate or postgraduate, and I missed mentioning here that anyone also done in pharmacy practice or PharmD or even the PhDs are open to apply for any of the PV positions. Then what are the skill sets that are required to enter and succeed in this field? First thing is excellent communication skills. So you are doing a job that requires English language, and narrative writing you do, and many aspects. So where you need to have a good written and verbal English skills. English proficiency should be good. Secondly, there is another skill is attention to detail. That is a must here. And analytical and problem solving skills, project management and planning skills. I think that you already gain when you are doing your masters, and you obviously learn while doing your project all these skills, and ability to work in a fast paced environment, because there is a lot of workload, and it is important that you're able to do the work with speed and with accuracy and quality. So these are all the skills, and these are not limited, but also uh, I would also like to add here something like Excel skills, and having a bit computer literacy, because you will be working on various softwares and databases. Of course, you will be trained and it will be easy to use, but having a handful of experience always helps. So these are all the skill sets that are required. Then career opportunities in pharmacovigilance. So you have opportunities in pharmaceutical companies. There are many pharmaceutical companies who have in-house pharmacovigilance cell where they do all these activities, or some pharma companies also outsource these activities to CROs. So if you're working in a pharmaceutical company which has outsourced its work to a CRO, then maybe your work is to have an overview on the work of the people who are working in CROs. So you will be doing supervision of those activities. Then you have also opportunities, a lot of, in fact, opportunities that are available in contract research organizations. So many big pharmaceutical companies, such as Novartis, or there are many companies so which have outsourced their work to many CROs, and so that there is the high possibility to get placed in CROs than in pharmaceutical companies. So you can definitely try for these. And regulatory agencies. So there are, of course, some qualification different criterias, and you need to gain more experience first in order to enter regulatory agencies. But this is also one of the stream where you can enter. So India is a hub for pharmacovigilance, I would say, because it's a service industry and lots of jobs are outsourced here. So there are a lot of opportunities in pharmacovigilance, and you can definitely avail one. So once you enter pharmacovigilance, what is the career progression? What activities you get to do as an entry level, and then what happens after that? So I will try to explain briefly something on this. So as a fresher, for 0 to 6 months, you are a trainee. So you are being, trained on various aspects of pharmacovigilance. So you will be handling booking, triage, and safety, mailbox handling, conducting duplicate searches, determine if the case is initial or follow-up, and you'll be conducting the data entry of individual case safety reports. So that will be done, and then later, the later stages, you'll be processing the cases. There are some, complexities in these cases. So based on your experience, your aptitude, your performance, you'll be given to the more and more complex scenarios, such as if you're working and if you're performing good, you may be given to handle suspected cases. There are a lot of other activity means where a drug is related to the adverse event. So it depends. Then a quality reviewer. So after you gain certain expertise in these activities, then you are given a role of a quality reviewer. So you can review the data for completeness and accuracy, and you can also provide guidance to the new joinees. And then there is literature screening. So there are lots and lot of publication that are available and which are reporting for our product, and we need to monitor. We are supposed to monitor each and every publication that has been published for our drug. And so screening of this literature for relevance, for pharmacovigilance, and then identifying adverse events reported in that literature, that is something that can be done later at later stages. And then there are other work streams such as signal detection, where you're able to determine if there are any new risks associated with a particular product, or is there any new information about the known risks of the existing uh, information. So you need to analyze that. So that is also one of the fields. Then RMP, here you are dealing with risk detection, assessment, minimization. So when you detect the risk, what is the public health impact and what can you do to mitigate these risks and everything. So this is another activity, and it's a very like at the when you gain more and more experience, this activity is handed over to you. And safety officer monitor the safety of drugs and to evaluate and prevent adverse reactions. So these are the various types of activities you can decide at this point. At this point, after the quality reviewer, you can decide to grow vertically if you wish to, and if you have that opportunity, then you can switch from here to a team lead or manager, so you can grow in the vertical line here onwards. Or you can also pursue these service lines which are also providing some high complex level of activities, and thereafter also you can enter vertically, or you can become subject matter expertise. So these are the career progression opportunities available in pharmacovigilance. Then interview preparation, what can you do to crack the interview? So have written here is very generic points, and I will let you know that there are various online resources which say frequently asked questions in pharmacovigilance interviews. So you can search all of them, get your answers, read the guidelines, and read the relevant material. So having a basic awareness about pharmacovigilance is important. They know that you are fresher, you may not know everything, but if you are applying for a position, it is important that you know something about it. You are curious, you have learned something on your own to know about this. So it's good that you learn about pharmacovigilance a little bit through the authentic sources, through the guidances, and then you show up for the interview. And then you can do the detailed analysis of the company, what products or what services the company has, and so that also helps. And then you whenever there is some vacancy posted, then you can see the job responsibilities, you can search for those activities and gain knowledge for that. And then there are also some sort of competency behavioral based questions which test your attitude towards work. So as a fresher, if you are always ready to learn, and you have a good attitude towards work, and you are positive and confident, and so that should reflect in your answering. And I think that should be enough. And so these are small tips from my end for the interview. And these are some guidelines that I have enlisted that you can refer to on a high level for to gain some knowledge in pharmacovigilance. So that's it about pharmacovigilance from my end, and I now open this forum for question and answers.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your talk and guidance. Yes, so as ma'am said, the session is open for question and answers or any queries that the participants or anyone is having. Please, you can proceed.
Suvarna, it was an excellent talk.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Suvarna, there is this question from my side. Like, what is real world data? Is it pharmacovigilance extended, or it is a separate field entirely?
It is a separate field entirely.
How it differs from pharmacovigilance? Then?
So it is dealing with some retrospective studies, and based on that they're assessing the risks. I mean, I haven't worked and I don't have much knowledge on real world experience, but it's entirely different and it's no way in collaboration with PV.
Okay. From student side, are there any questions?
Yes, sir. As we can see on the YouTube chat, so there is a question from Chiranjeev Bhalira that only on PV course, what kind of job can we get?
Mm, So I would like to say here that if you have the educational qualification, and also as emphasized by Dr. Chetan Mingurkar, that you don't need any additional courses actually, and these courses charge a lot. I don't think so that such kind of courses are really needed, but in case you're going through, I
Hello.
think it will give an upper edge if you.
Detection.
Sorry.
Uh,
Hello.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So, but
I think okay, you can
Yes.
continue.
yeah, so you can still apply for all these jobs, and like if I understand your question correctly, that you are saying if you're doing the course, would you be able to get in any PV jobs? Then of course, yeah, you can, but the basic educational qualification criteria still remains.
So the another question from one student is that in educational requirements, okay, so is PharmD eligible?
Yeah, PharmD also is eligible.
So a person having a PharmD degree can pursue any career in PV, right?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we'll proceed, and I request our head of department of pharmacology, Dr. Sia Patil sir, please propose vote of thanks for Ms. Suvarna Bhautankar ma'am, and please hand over her a virtual certificate of appreciation. Please, sir.
Thanks a lot, Suvarna. It was really pleasant to listen to you, and the difference that comes with experience that I could feel. Like if suppose a teacher like me is teaching pharmacovigilance, and if you are telling about pharmacovigilance, there is a vast difference. There is a world of difference in the kind of detailing that you have done in your lecture. Particularly the way you have shown job profiles at different levels, and then you are told what kind of details are necessary for interview preparation, what kind of background knowledge the students should have. All these things are going to help our students a lot. And even I could understand few things regarding pharmacovigilance which I did not had attention to, and really this lecture is going to be on YouTube. So all next batches of RC Piper, as well as whoever is interested in pharmacovigilance, will be benefited by this lecture. I'm thankful to you that at odd time you are from joining from Germany, and then such an odd time is there, and still you have made it convenient to join us and deliver a very informative talk on pharmacovigilance. This will clarify many things for those students who are preparing for pharmacovigilance field. I inquired to new batches also, new batch which is studying here at present. At least 50% students are saying they want to go in pharmacovigilance. Okay, so for all of them, and for all the other department students also, this will be a very nice information. And if there are any other questions or any guidance if they want, they will be contacting you. If you allow, we will be sharing your details with them, or through similar talks, we will be again arranging some interactions in future so that our students' doubts get clarified. Okay? On behalf of all of us, all my students from RC Piper, from the management, from teaching staff, I am very much thankful to you for sparing time and giving you valuable inputs regarding pharmacovigilance field. It's a pleasure and privilege to hand over this certificate to you. And thanks a lot. Thanks for everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was pleasure
Yes.
for me to be part of this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for giving us a chance and for giving us your valuable time. Now, I request the coordinator of this program, Mr. Vivek Kumawat, sir, to please extend his views and conclude the program with a vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Respected dignitaries and dear participants, I, Vivek, feels very privileged to present a vote of thanks on behalf of our institute on this auspicious occasion of Alumni Talk series. All of you will agree that expressing vote of thanks is a respectful way to express gratitude towards the dignitaries. Yet these words will be less meaningful for today's speakers. Dr. Chetan sir and Suvarna madam spoke about the clinical research and pharmacovigilance prospects. These sessions provided us with information regarding basic clinical research and pharmacovigilance, which will be useful to our students who are looking for the jobs in the clinical research and pharmacovigilance department. Thank you so much, Dr. Chetan Nimgurkar sir and Suvarna Bhavtankar madam, for sparing your valuable time and expert talk. I would like to express my gratitude to the Honorable Principal, Dr. H.J. Surana sir, for his presence and guidance. And I would like to thanks our Vice Principal sir, Vice Principal respected Dr. Atul Silpikar sir, for gracing these events with his presence. And thank you, sir, for sharing your words of wisdom and for your support to organize these events. I express my gratitude our driving force, respected Dr. C.R. Patil sir, and respected Dr. S.D. Patil ma'am, for the conceptualization, motivation, and guidance for the organization of the Alumni Power Talk series. A special thanks to my colleague, Dr. Kalpesh Patil sir and Mrs. Harshada Patil ma'am for their efforts and assistance in the organization of these events. I extend my thanks to Ms. Seema Jogar and Ms. Sonali Chavan for shouldering the responsibility of the registration and publicity of this event. I would like to thank my all my colleagues, especially Dr. Pankaj Jain sir, Mr. Ujjwal Katolkar sir, Gagrani sir, and Imtiaz Ansari sir for their constant supports and constant supports and help to these events. I must appreciate our PG students, Vishwas, Chandrakant, and Hitesh for their technical assistance. I appreciate active involvement and overwhelming response of the participants for these events, and I'm thankful to all of you dear participants. Lastly, I'm thankful to all those who are directly, indirectly involved in the organization of these events. Thank you once again. I request to all participants, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel, that is RCP Pharmacology, and visit our website for updates of our departments. Okay, so please stay tuned with our WhatsApp group, where we will share the feedback link for the e-certificates and keep you updated about the next event in this Alumni Power Talk series. Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, with the permission of
Ma'am.
dignitaries, I declare that the
Ma'am.
program is... Yes, sir.
Yes, we have to take the photo session.
Photo.
Yeah,
Yes.
one photo we can take, right?
Yes. I request to all participants, switch on their camera for the photo shoot.
Chetan, Dr. Chetan, are you there? You can also start your camera.
Yes, sure.
All participants.
Yeah. All right, we can have a snap here. Pankaj Jain, sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please start your camera.
I request to all participants, please switch on their camera.
Okay, let's have a snap here.
Okay, viewers.
Madam, you can proceed. Harshada Madam.
Yes. So with the permission of dignitaries, I declare that the program is over. And yes, our participants will surely get the email ID and contact details of the key speakers of this event. And please stay tuned to us on YouTube channel. Do like and subscribe it, please. See you in the next event of Alumni Power Talk series. Goodbye and take care. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ma'am.
Bye.